Hello, I'm Mark Anthony Davis, and I'm here reviewing New Japan Presents CMLL Fantastica Mania 2019. And to just get things started off, I don't really have a good knowledge of the history of Fantastica Mania. It's the first time I'm actually attempting to watch this, because usually in past years I would just skip it and just wait until the New Beginning shows roll in. But now I decide, since I'm trying to review a lot of shows, why not, continue is flexing that reviewing muscle by reviewing all these Fantastica Mania shows. And today we're talking about day one, January the 11th, Friday. The next show is on the 16th, I believe. So I felt like there's a big enough space to justify making a video just about this one show. So let's kick it off. The first match was Gedo, Taiji, Ishimori, and Templarino versus Audaz, Ryusuke, Taguchi, and Tiger Mask. Another thing to mention, a lot of these CMLL wrestlers I haven't seen. Most of them, honestly, I haven't seen before. So if there's things I just don't touch on in terms of interfactional, interpersonal relationships that I don't really delve too deep into, because I don't know. This is the first time I see a good bit of these wrestlers. I have seen some of these CMLL wrestlers before, because they did wrestle in New Japan shows before. But anyways, let's just go into the first match. So the notable thing about this first match is that there was just start off with Gedo going against, I believe it was Audaz, if that's even how you pronounce it. And there was some really unattractive wrestling. Gedo, I mean, he's not known for his wrestling, I guess. He's a manager who was a wrestler and then became a manager, in the past, half decade or so. And so, I mean, usually he wrestles fine. I really don't like his style or how good he is. But this match, the beginning of this match had some really unattractive stuff. Gedo is offensively pretty bad. Audaz, if that's again how you pronounce it, he when they started doing double team moves on him, he started taking bumps like a good half second after he actually got hit, which is very jarring to watch because it looked very stupid. And I'm like, this is like the first lucha match I watched in a long time. I don't know what the standards are for lucha. I don't really watch lucha wrestling, but I don't know if there's a standard to take bumps a half second late. That it seems wrong in every type of style, but I'm like, this is really bad, but it did pick up toward the second half of the match, or the last 2/3 or something like that. It was a pretty short match all in all, but when Taguchi got in, when Tiger Mask was able to get in and fight with Ishimori and Gedo, really just Ishimori, he was really good. But all in all, it was a pretty short match, and Templarino hits a powerbomb on Audaz for the pin. And when Templarino came out, actually, during his entrance, I noticed, oh, Templarino, and he has crosses on his face. He has like a little Knights Templar character. So if you didn't know that Bullet Club were supposed to be heels in this match, you definitely know now, because they had a Knights Templar on their team. All in all, the match was alright. If you want to see the numerical ratings I give for these matches, I'll put them in the description, as I always do. Timestamps are there as well. The second match was Flyer and Teton and Jyushin Thunder Liger versus Forastero, Yoshinobu, Kanemaru, and Taichi. So this match, it started off with the Suzuki Gun team came in first, and then the Jyushin Thunder Liger, Teton, and Flyer team came in. And as soon as the last person, I think it was Flyer that came in, he was on the top rope, and then as he's finishing making his entrance, Suzuki-gun team comes in and attacks them. And I guess I don't know if Forastero was in Suzuki-gun, but that team attacked him preemptively before the match started. So it was like a lot of triple team stuff. Stuff was breaking out outside the ring as well. But that triple team did continue to be like half the match, or not, if not even more. And I just want to give my take on the non-traditional, tag team rules or tag team approach that New Japan takes compared to what we're used to here in America. I don't have a problem with it, because it's like I've always felt with sports or wrestling or sports in general, and wrestling in particular, is that if the rules are logical and are implemented, universally in the promotion, if it's fair and balanced execution of those laws, I can't be mad at it. So it's not like just the heels had the benefit of coming into the ring without tagging in. The faces, the heels, people in between, everyone does that. So I'm fine with it, and it might look like a heel thing to do from American eyes, but I watch so much New Japan tag matches that I'm used to it. I like it, and I don't really favor one style over the other. I just look at the quality of the match and the story itself, and the rules. As long as they're following those rules they gave themselves, I'm cool with it. And it was good here. They used the triple team tag to get some sympathy on the other team, and it worked. Eventually, I believe it was Teton made a comeback and was able to break the triple team. And it came down to Flyer and Kanemaru facing off for a little bit. And Kanemaru showed some really good athleticism going one-on-one with Flyer. I mean, he did like one move that showed some athleticism. But Flyer eventually took him out with the moonsault to the outside. And that left the opportunity for Forastero and Teton to go at it. And they had like a really good exchange where they teased, like, I think it was Forastero teased that he was going to do Teton, like he was going to do a Hurricane Rana on Forastero off the top rope. But Forastero caught his legs, held on, and like he was going to power bomb him off the top rope onto the mat. But then after that, Teton reversed it into, I believe, another Hurricane Rana. But all in all, it ended up with Forastero. But the finish was Forastero tapping out Teton. I don't know what the name of the submission was, but he was able to get him, and the Suzuki-gun team with Forastero wins. Or Forastero. I'm saying Forastero, what the fuck. But good match all the same. The next match here is Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. versus OKUMURA and Sanson. And the entrance, and this happened with all the matches pretty much when it had CMLL wrestlers, they couldn't use their theme songs because of copyright stuff. I guess they can use it in Mexico, but when they come to Japan, they don't have the copyright for like a worldwide use. So New Japan can't use that music, so they put in some like stock music. And in this case, when Atlantis came out, they put in a version of La Cucaracha. I just thought that was kind of funny, but after Atlantis comes out with his La Cucaracha music, OKUMURA comes out, and he's the champion of something. I didn't know what the championship was at the time, but after looking it up, Shigeru OKUMURA is his full name, and right now he's holding the Costa Rica Wrestling Embassy World Championship. That's interesting. Anyways, I thought he looked pretty cool, and the match had some really cool spots. I didn't know who Atlantis Jr. was. I mean, there's Atlantis. You look him up. He's like 56, and I'm like, damn, that dude. I feel happy for him because he's 56. He still got his muscles, and he could move around pretty good. I mean, a lot better than another wrestler that I saw in his 50s. Whenever I think of a really old wrestler, I think of The Undertaker, and he just, as soon as like he hit like 51 or 52, there's like nothing left to give, I felt. But Atlantis seems like he got a little bit left to give. He could probably be one of those people who wrestles until retirement age. It's actually a pretty cool thing to think about. But Atlantis here, he did a couple. He didn't do too much. He didn't make him take any big moves, but he did do a dive off the top rope to the outside, and he landed on OKUMURA and Sanson. And I was like, yeah, I'm rooting for the guy because I love the old dude. I love good old dudes. Like, if you're 50 plus and you're still kicking it, like, I think Tiger Mask might be around 50. I like seeing him go. I don't know how old Jyushin Thunder Liger is, but anyways, I just love seeing the old dudes, big old dude. But the match does not end well for the Atlantis team because OKUMURA end up pinning Atlantis Jr. After hitting like an inverted spin out DDT. And I didn't really say much about Atlantis Jr. because I Googled him and nothing came up. Like Atlantis came up again. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like he's pretty unremarkable in this match. He just seemed to be the guy. He had a couple moments of offense. For the most part, he was just taking our team's moves. But and after the match ended, I didn't know that they were going to be dicks like this. I thought it was a pretty fun, clean match. But OKUMURA and Sanson unmask Atlantis, both Atlantises, and they take their mask with them, put on their head, and walk out. And the young lions take off their shirts and they covered Atlantis and Atlantis Jr. faces so they could leave, having their identities exposed. But all in all, good match. So after the intermission, that was about 10-12 minutes, we come back and we see Cuatrero, Gran Guerrero, Ultimo Guerrero versus Angel de Oro, Dragon Lee, and Mistico. Now, I know I've seen Dragon Lee before, I've seen Mistico before, and I've seen Ultimo Guerrero before. Maybe even Gran Guerrero as well, but I definitely haven't seen Cuatrero. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. Angel de Oro. I'm an English and German guy, so it doesn't have the... When you speak in English or German, it does not have the fluidity of Spanish, in my opinion. Spanish is a lot more soft, drawn in the mouth. But anyways, one thing I noticed during the entrance, again, dubbed in music, but Angel de Oro came in, and he come into the ring, he came into the apron and got on the top rope, and he started doing the Heil Hitler. I don't know what that was about. I know that's probably not what he was going for, but that's the first thing I thought. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. No, I know I'm making a big deal out of nothing, but I don't know. It just looks funny to think about this random guy, and no one reacts to it. So, I mean, it's nothing. And, no one reacts to it. Nah, it's nothing. Well, just like the Nazis, I guess. It was nothing until it became something. So, watch out for this Angel de Oro guy. But within the match... he had his spots or whatever. I was really just I was focusing on Gran Guerrero and Ultimo Guerrero because I really wanted to have them memorized in my mind because I was getting confused. I believe Ultimo Guerrero is the one who didn't have the mask on, has longer hair, and Gran Guerrero has the mask on. But in the beginning, I was legitimately confused. Anyways, I was legitimately confused because Ultimo Guerrero also had a mask on. Then he took it off towards the beginning of the match. But I thought this was the best match on the show. It was very fun. A lot of high spots. A lot of fun spots when Gran Guerrero, Ultimo Guerrero, I think held one of the opponents. He held Dragon Lee. That's what it was. It was Dragon Lee. He was stuck. His arms was held in the ropes. And one of the Guerreros held his legs, so his body's draped, kind of draping. And then the other Guerrero threw up Cuatrero, and he fell into Dragon Lee. And they did that a couple of times. I like that. There's a couple cool dives, a lot of athleticism. I don't know. I didn't take too many notes. That's probably obvious. I made a point to just write notes on the finishes at least, because I don't want to be coming here completely empty-handed like I did last time. But I really did enjoy this match. It was a very good match. And right when I thought it was about to keep on going, become this great, great epic match, Cuatrero hits Angel de Oro with the crucifix powerbomb, and he gets the pin off that, and now it's in the match. But very good, though. I really enjoyed that. For our fifth match, we had KUSHIDA, Soberano Jr., and Volador Jr. versus Barbaro, Cavernario, Caristico, and Namahagi. And the first thing, I think Namahagi came out first. I'm like, oh, that dude looks pretty cool. But he looks familiar. And I kept thinking on it. Then other people made their entrances. KUSHIDA make his entrance, and he had this big old, supposed to be a watch, I guess. Maybe a time bomb. But it also had a mohawk on it. I don't know. He was trying to make a reference, his time splitter character, had time on it. But, and he was also, he also did it because, Fantastica Mania, a lot of masked wrestlers, he comes in with a mask of his own. But it looked this really weird, big old helmet, like a kaiju big battle character or something. But anyways, he came in, and I'm just thinking that's an odd way to have your first match back, because I believe he had the conference about him making his departure from New Japan after New Year's Dash, I believe. I might be wrong about that, but if what I'm thinking is true, this is his first match back since having that conference, and this is how you make a return with the big old goofy looking helmet on. But anyways, I saw one woman was kind of like getting into tears because she knows like the last rap KUSHIDA in New Japan, and I didn't mention this last time, but apparently KUSHIDA's last match in New Japan is going to be on a Road to the New Beginning tour. He's going to be facing Tanahashi in a singles match. That is going to be fucking awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to talking about that and just watching that, because that is going to be awesome. And in an odd way, this is what we've been leading towards with his whole career in New Japan, is him facing Tanahashi and just heavyweights in general. And that's the reason why he's moving on, because he hasn't had that opportunity, and he doesn't see New Japan giving him that opportunity to fight heavyweights. And in his last match, he's actually going to be able to fight the ace of the heavyweights and the current IWGP heavyweight champion in his final match. Odd sense of irony with that. But I also wrote down before KUSHIDA came out, actually. I know I go out of order a lot. But Caristico is a champion of something. You know what? I'll just Google it right now. Alright. So the championship he had around his waist, I couldn't make out what it was. And I don't think I've ever seen it before. But now that I know what it is, it makes sense. Caristico is the current NWA World Historic Middleweight Champion. I don't know why I had to put historic in there. I just could put middleweight. Because he also held the NWA World Middleweight Championship, which apparently is a different thing. What's the difference in historic and just middleweight? Interesting thing about Caristico, which I didn't know actually, is that Caristico was Mistico and was Sin Cara. I know Mistico was the original Sin Cara, but I didn't know Mistico changed into Caristico. So I guess just like they had a new Sin Cara or new Sin Caras, there's a different Mistico now. That's odd. I guess they can get away with it. Kinda. I mean, I don't know them, but the people who are in the CMLL, they can tell that it's not the old Mistico by the body. Just the same way you could tell Sin Cara, they had like 3 different Sin Caras because they all had different bodies. But Caristico came in with easy listening music or like elevator music. I found it very odd. I know you couldn't use their music, you had to go get like stock music, but come on, you try a little bit harder to get something that was tonally correct and not like you're on a phone and you have to wait. Like that's waiting room music. I don't know. But as we come back to the ring and the wrestlers are getting ready to compete, I look at Namahagi again, and I look down, I look at his midsection. That's what I do. When I try to identify a wrestler, I look at their face, then look at their midsection. For some reason, my eyes just go to the midsection. I think it has something to do back when I used to play basketball, football. The coach would be, look at the hips, focus on the hips, because the hips tell you where they're going, where they're running to. You don't look at their face, you don't look at their shoulders, you look at their hips. So I guess when I'm watching wrestlers now, I always like go to their hips. And I guess it helps me to identify who a wrestler is, because in this case, I was like, I can tell those abs from anywhere. That's El Desperado. And then I Googled it, and I was right. So Namahagi is El Desperado. I don't know how they're handling that. What's the justification? I don't know. Maybe that was his old name in CMLL. He changed his name for New Japan. I have no idea. I guess I'll look into that in later reviews if it comes out as a talking point. And if I remember, probably won't. But this was a pretty good, fast-paced, fun match. Was it too much to it? But I did think it was pretty good and it was fun. The finish was Caristico hitting Volador with a Hurricane Rana to spin him down to the ground. And, he spins him down and he goes right into, looks like an arm bar from my view. Kind of like an arm bar. And Volador quickly submits. He he submits like within 2 seconds. Like as soon as it was on, Volador submits, and he was holding his shoulder on the way out. So that was the finish of the match. Caristico earns his team the victory. I liked watching Barbaro, Cavernario. I've seen him before, but here, he does more of his goofy stuff. I remember him, like he got hit with a move as he was running into the turnbuckle to do like a splash. He got hit, turned around, started doing the worm, and after doing the worm 3 times, he rebounds up and he hulks up kinda. I'm like, that's kind of goofy. I guess his name's like, I'm guessing, I don't know Spanish, but again, I'm guessing his name's like Barbarian Caveman. So I mean, that's his character. It's a little ridiculous, but all in all, pretty good match. Now time for the main event of the day. Was Bushi, Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito, and Terrible versus Fujin, Rajin, Satoshi Kojima, and Toa Henare. I do not know the relation between any of these 4 wrestlers. I think it's obvious that Fujin and Rajin are related because they're wearing similar attire, similar names. Nice, easy assumption to make. But I don't know how Satoshi Kojima has anything to do with this. It's the first time I've seen him this year. And Toa Henare, I didn't expect him to be in the main event. It seemed like it's a ragtag group to go up against. I would expect Kanemaru and what's his face? Like get Kanemaru, Azuka, Taichi, and another Suzuki Gun guy, and have them go against. Or no. Have Kanemaru, Taichi, Fujin, and Rajin go against the LIJ team. But now I start to notice that they're reusing the entrance music. Like they reuse music for like the second match. I don't know who exactly had the same entrance music. I don't know if it's because Terrible is part of another faction or is associated with somebody else, because they're using that music for him, but they also use that music for somebody else, and it doesn't really fit either of them. I forgot to mention that there's a dude with an air horn from the very beginning, sporadically just honking the air horn, and I'm surprised no one went up to him and say, "Hey, fucking stop that," or take it away from him or something. But during this match, I remember as Satoshi Kojima hitting his rapid fire chops. For every chop, the dude would squeeze the air horn. That was pretty cool. And then like Fujin and Rajin, they were like beating on the mat to get people hyped up, like boom, 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 boom. And as they're about to hit up their move, to get the people start clapping fast, like boom, 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 boom. And as with every clap, the dude with the air horn was on point, honking it. But every time, I thought that was it upped the enjoyment of the match. And I did feel like this wasn't the best match on the show. It was a good match. It was a solid match. I thought I was expecting a little bit more, but it was still a good match. I'm not gonna let my higher expectations take away from what it was, because it was good. Yeah, again, I feel like they did a good job of showcasing Takagi some more, and he wrestles with power, but I'm still looking for more. With Takagi. I'm still looking forward to when I'm guessing he's going to be in the Best Super Juniors, but I don't know. But the result, the finish of the match was Bushi back. The finish of the match was Bushi backsliding Fujin and then bridging over to secure the pin and the win. So the LIJ team wins. I thought since it's supposed to be like Fantastica Mania, we're showcasing all these CMLL talents, I would think Terrible would have got the pin, but no, Bushi's fine too. I'm not gonna question what they do. Well, I am, when it's like highly questionable. But this wasn't, it was a solid match, good match. But afterwards, it seemed like, they're surprised, and Rajin and Fujin were very disappointed with themselves. Bushi says a couple words on the mic, and then he finishes off with "En serio," which I still don't know what that means, but it's the only thing I remember from what he's saying, because again, Japanese. Afterwards, Naito cuts a promo, and he says everyone in LIJ, from Bushi, Evil, Sonata, Takagi, Hiromu, Terrible, and me, Naito. We are LIJ. And I thought, nice way to end. LIJ's reigning supreme. No sightings of Tanahashi getting a much needed break. So Kenny Omega, from what I know, is that He just said he's taking a hiatus right now. I don't know. I don't think this is it, but I don't think he's definitely at this point. I don't think he's going to WWE. I'm still holding on to the theory that I said last time when 2 years ago after the main event, he's going to take a long break from New Japan. And, if he doesn't come back, obviously it makes sense why he wouldn't be here. Again, even if he was still here, he wasn't going to wrestle anyway. So, yeah. We saw the Intercontinental Champion be here, the Junior Heavyweight, by effect also the 3-man tag titles, I believe. And I think that was all the champions that we saw. A lot of people on a break, a lot of people doing other stuff. Although it didn't have many of people's New Japan favorites, I still thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was only 6 matches. It was easy to watch. It was about 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Probably a little short if you cut out the final backstage comment. Like, the last match ended around 2 hours and the 8-minute mark. But also, it took them like 10 minutes to start the show. So, you can watch this show under 2 hours. Everything you need to see is under 2 hours. So, hey, it's a nice, quick wrestling show. They ain't forcing you to watch all these new wrestlers that you might not know. They're not forcing you to watch for a very long time. It's a good showcase of talent. And I'm looking forward to the next show, which is on January 16th, Wednesday. And the show after that will be Friday on the 18th. And my review of those 2 shows should come out on the 19th, Saturday morning around 7 o'clock. And looking forward to that. The final wrap up here. This show didn't have any major storyline implications going forward. As I said again, Taichi and Naito did not have another confrontation. They're keeping them away from each other. Probably not going to have any until the later shows that are in Korakuen when it comes to Fantastica Mania. Or they might just stave it off all the way until New Beginning shows. So before I go, I just want to be open with y'all. If you have any critiques on how I could be a better reviewer, or you want me to review different stuff, or is there any constructive criticism at all, come on, lay it on me. I want to get better at doing this. If I'm better at doing this, you enjoy it more, and I'm happier for it. So we're all here just talking about wrestling. So that's all for now. See you in a week when I review Day 2 and Day 3 Fantastica Mania. Thanks for watching.